So, the way Weirder looks, and especially also the design of certain Pokemon in more recent times, is kind of got like this weird feeling to them, including like Galarian Surfetch'd, right? They look oddly similar to these like beta leaked Pokemon from Pokemon Gold and Silver's beta leak from like the 1997, I think, Space World demo. So I'm starting to wonder if perhaps some of these designs might actually reappear in Legends Arceus or inspire evolutions or pre-evolutions for Legends Arceus in forms of, you know, new Evos as well as Hisuian forms. So let's take a look at what some of these could be, you know, based on the beta leaks. What are some of the possible ones? So sit back, relax, and let's get started. First up is going to be this thing right here. The design is made by Startboy, none else, of course. Startboy put together essentially what is a design for Tigret, which is essentially this little tiger, like electric type Pokemon, which I'm assuming at a later point maybe turned into Shinx in the future or something like that. But when this design like was made at the time, it was scrapped, it wasn't used, but it was adorable though. And I had this weird feeling that this could have maybe been like some early version of what essentially ended up being Raikou eventually. That's what I was thinking. Now, I could be wrong, but this was the first one. However, this one connects with 3 other designs here that were also present in the beta leaks, which is first up is the early version of Beta Suicu, right? So here we can see what Suicu looked like originally, what they planned to make it look like, and it honestly looks bloody fantastic. I think it looks awesome. But that's not the only thing though. He has multiple designs of all of them here. So we also have, you know, Beta Raikou, which also looks freaking badass, and then of course we have Beta Entei. Now all these 3 combined with also the little guy there, the little, you know, like I guess Tigret, right? I'm assumingly, like I have this weird feeling that maybe all these 3, like all these 4 were connected, right? With the legendaries in particular, all of their designs, original designs, actually look pretty badass. And I'm thinking with Legends Arceus, we know we're going to be getting like, you know, different forms of Pokemon for how they look like back in the day. And I'm sort of thinking like, what if we got these things for the legendaries, like the way the legendaries looked like back in the day before whatever happened to them happened to them? Because there is a theory, which I've mentioned in a few videos now, there is this theory, right, that essentially the, you know, legendary beasts, legendary dogs, whatever you want to call them, were actually created basically during the death of, you know, multiple evolutions, right? When the burned tower, well, burnt down, right? Before it was the burned tower. When it burned down after, you know, Lugia, I guess, caused a storm that made lightning strike it and made it burn down, those Pokemon then got resurrected by Ho-Oh, and those are the legendary beasts. Now, what if these were the original legendary beasts? Like, what if we get, like, in Legends Arceus, new forms that are the original forms of Entei, Raikou, and Suicune, which were, back in the day, just normal Pokemon, and then when they were, like, you know, killed in the burnt tower, they were revived by Ho-Oh, and their revival made them legendary because there are no other Pokemon like them. There are no other Entei, Raikou, Suicune, because those are the only ones. Why are they the only ones? Because they can't, like, well, they're different. They're not the same as the originals. So what if the originals existed back in the day, but they went extinct, and these could be the originals, with Tigret being, like, maybe a small version of all of them, or Tigret being, like, a pre-evolution to all of them, or they can, you know, evolve into multiple of them. I don't know. I feel like this could be a possibly cool idea, but I want to know your thoughts on this one. Next is this thing right here. So this is Ring, which is a beta Pokemon that actually, according to Startboy, he thinks was turned into Chingling and Chimco, which is fair enough. And then, of course, you have its evolution, Bellaboyant, which is also like a Pokemon. But this one to me looks far more, this is the Evo for the previous one, but it looks far more to me like, you know, Umbreon. And I'm feeling more like, could this have been an early version of Umbreon, perhaps, like an early design for what they wanted it to look like, but then eventually they just decided, you know what, we're making Umbreon as an evolution instead of doing whatever we're doing here, right? And they just scrapped this whole design, and eventually Chingling, etc. made its presence with the whole bell thing going on. So, I don't know, maybe this is what's going on here. I don't really know. I'd love to know your thoughts on it, though, because personally, I think it's a cool design, and I think this is one of those that could reappear, maybe as a change to an existing Pokemon to look more like it. Maybe like a new form for Umbreon. I've talked about this before, but I think a form for them would actually be pretty, you know, pretty cool, pretty solid. That's just what I think, though. So we know we're getting a new Growlithe, right? We're getting a new Hisuian Growlithe, but there was this Hodi, which was essentially a pre-evolution for Growlithe back in the day. Now, back in Generation 2, there was an introduction of a bunch of brand new, you know, baby Pokemon, as they're called, and also in Generation 4, same thing happened. So I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if we got like some of these, you know, baby Pokemon to return, maybe like, you know, back in old Hisui and old Sinnoh, maybe like, you know, Growlithe had to have a pre-evolution that was smaller and even cuter, and I think this could be really cool. personally. But that's not the only one though. We also have a pre-evolution for Vulpix. This is Trifox, which is just an adorable little foxy, and I think honestly this would be another one of those cool additions because it would just make a complete, like, you know, kind of a complete journey for these Pokemon. And honestly, like, having a pre-evolution for Vulpix, I think would be adorable. Personally, that's what I think. Now here we get a design by Elite Four, and this again he just mentions here is the latest wave of Pokemon from 1997. Sorry about my voice there. The Gold Silver demo, as you can see the previous post, and you can check out his page, by the way, check out all these. But at the bottom here, there's a design of what looks to be an early version of, I guess, Leafeon, right? Whatever they thought Leafeon, you know, like, was gonna look like back in the day. I mean, this maybe a bit must have been the original concept for it, the original way they wanted to go with the design. But then, of course, what ended up happening? Well, they scrapped that and it didn't happen. So what do we got? You know, some new forms or some old forms, like old school forms of some of these. And also Leafeon, by the way, interestingly enough, did reappear and show up later on in what generation? Well, Generation 4, right? That's when it was introduced. So why wouldn't they do that? Like, Leafeon and Glaceon were once introduced in Generation 4. So I think it would be really cool if the one of the, like, you know, new evolutions that we do get could be an early version of Leafeon or these other ones. I think it'd be a cool thing, right? Or an evolution for them as well, right? Like an other evolution for an evolution. I know it's crazy, but I think it would be, like, pretty awesome. Hear me out here. Can we get a, like, new form of Dragonite? So this right here is the Dragonite beta form of it. So I'm personally just gonna say this, but I think it'd be really cool. It's like really awesome if we got, like, a new form for Dragonite in general. Just a new form for Dragonite, man. Like, Dragonite just has nothing, okay? Dragonite has nothing. I mean, Charizard always takes the limelight for it. It just doesn't have anything. And why not bring back, like, a beta design or something to make a new one, right? Like, this one looks more cosmic in its design. Why not bring that back, but give, like, you know, even Dragonite a new, like, fresh coat of paint? I think it would be awesome. And also, this thing is just sick, so that's my personal opinion. So out of these, I think the ones that are most interesting, so you do have, like, seemingly a pre-evolution for, I think, the Duo or whatever, and then, of course, we have a pre-evolution for Girafarig. That's the one that I'm most interested in, right? You also have a pre-evolution for, like, a few other Pokemon, but doesn't matter. What I'm saying here is, I think we should get a pre-evolution for Girafarig, and this one is pretty cool, because you got that, like, evil thing with, like, you know, Girafarig, how it's, like, this weird ghostly thing, and on the other side, you know, the other half of it, and I personally think it would be pretty sick, like, if we got something like this. I think it would be pretty awesome. Also, here we get to see, like, a bit of a different design for, like, Girafarig, a little different and all that in its design. But overall, my point is, I think we should get a, like, pre-evolution for Girafarig, and I think it could actually happen this time around. It's one of those Pokemon that's been sort of left behind, but I feel like, as we've seen now, they will give some Pokemon. I mean, Basculin got an evolution. Like, who cared about Basculin, but it got some love, and I think it's possible now we may see some, you know, more popular but also less popular Pokemon get an actual extra amount of, like, love and attention. Then, of course, I have to include Garochoo. Yes, so this is the, like, for, like, what did you call it? Like, this was originally meant to be, like, an evolution for, you know, none else than the big man himself, Raichu, and it was supposed to be like a big, larger, thicker one, but this never happened. And man, I don't know about you guys, but I think this could definitely be a beneficial thing for them to do. Like, just fairly being honest here, I think this is beneficial. Like, it's a popular Pokemon. We're talking about Pikachu and Raichu here. Popular Pokemon, a popular family of Pokemon. Adding something extra to that, I think most people would love that. And this time around, it would actually make sense because you would take this old design and old feral Pikachus and Raichus and they could evolve. That, I think, would be pretty awesome. I mean, then again, we do have Pichu as well included there, but it's besides the point. Make it a 4-stage evolution thing. I think that would work. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is it, more or less. I want to know your thoughts and opinions. Which one of these do you think would be the best one to see return? Do you want to see another part 2 of this video? Let me know, and thank you so much for today. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.